I have never been one for over-optimism or underestimating the enemy. You can overestimate the enemy, but you must never underestimate them. It's a huge, colossal mistake to think we've already won there, that we have an advantage in everything. That's not the case. What is the specific feature of the Sumy region, of the operational situation here? Here, the enemy began using that very tactic of UAV deployment. Yes, we have advantages in missiles, and even then they have HIMARS and ATACMS. If we strike precisely, targeting specific locations, they strike anywhere and everywhere. They don't spare HIMARS on anything, not even on tube artillery, on a dugout with UAV operators. They hit them with HIMARS. They've even started striking landing sites. They have no problems with that. With missiles, perhaps we are in the plus. With aviation, we are in the plus. With German drones, we are in the plus. With long-range strike drones, but we have no advantage in FPV drones, including fiber-optic ones. Even though we were the first to start using them, to develop them, the enemy caught up very quickly and even surpassed us in terms of quantity. The quantity is truly insane. For example, against just one of my positions, when they discovered our launch site, 87 drones hit us, if I'm not mistaken, about 30 of which were fiber optic, and that's not counting tube artillery, not counting tanks, but also Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is a whole separate topic. In terms of hexacopters, we simply don't have any, objectively speaking. If the enemy is producing them, I saw an interview, that developer from the concern stated they are producing 1,440,000 hexacopters a month, I believe. You can imagine how far ahead of us they are in terms of hexacopters. This is still a terra incognita for us, meaning we haven't even ventured there yet. We use them by repurposing the enemy's vampire systems. But we don't have anything of our own that's stable yet, let's be objective. Regarding FPV drones, yes, they use them on a massive scale because they have elevated UAVs to a cult status. It's truly a cult of UAVs, a cult of FPV. Any broadcast, any film, any interview has a QR code frame for donations to armed forces of Ukraine drones. Civilians assemble them, children assemble them, even in regular clubs they assemble FPV drones. They leave links. You buy parts, we assemble, and it works, in the sense that their scale is completely different from ours. The second point is the effectiveness of FPV drone use. We use them simply via ground control stations with directional antennas. The enemy has gone much further. Besides a rather unique ground control station with the capability to switch between up to 4 video frequencies. So it doesn't matter if you use that EU screen or not, they use a system of aerial signal relays. They have it all set up. They have a long system. They have an aerial relay in the sky that provides the signal. So the drone flies and switches between relays. If one relay is taken out, another is immediately put in its place. Hence the extended flight range, preserved video feed, and the inability to effectively jam it with electronic warfare. How to counter this? Only with FPV air defense, meaning using radar to shoot down, and shoot down these aerial relays, including the mothership, which acts both as a carrier and as a relay. Hence the ZHDUNY, waiting drones, hence strikes on deep rear areas with regular FPV drones. So we need to fight this, we need to develop countermeasures. We haven't been very successful in this yet, we are only starting to develop it, to fight it with our own methods. Individual units, like Kochevniki, Nomads, the 45th Brigade, Akhmet, Special Forces, have at least started using radar stations to shoot down the enemy's wings, drones. Well, and a few other units, the rest are still lagging behind. So this unified relay network system is a major hindrance for us. Plus the variety of FPV drones, from frame size 6 up to 15. There are pterodactyls flying around. I saw a frame size 15, if not larger, for the first time in Tetkino. It seemed to me it was created to kidnap people, not to kill. That's the kind of bird was flying, a real pterodactyl. So, in this regard, the enemy has succeeded, truly succeeded. What does this give them? What's happening now on the border, especially on the Snagist-Koronivo Highway, Halushkivsky district, is a typical rehearsal for battlefield isolation. The enemy is rehearsing. They understand that with the help of drones they can indeed isolate the battlefield. Therefore, we should have counteracted this yesterday. We need to fight this, which is what we are trying to do now. UAVs are the future of war. They are truly the future god of war. They won't be able to completely replace artillery, and even that depends on the scale, but you can lob shells chaotically, 2 or 3, hit something, or you can pour 150 drones precisely onto one landing site, and the effect will be much better. The landing site will become a dead zone. FPV drones can truly create a dead zone over a large distance, 50 by 50, easily. If you have a system of aerial relays and a sufficient number of skilled operators with enough drones and ground control stations. The more crews, the greater the isolation. Plus, they have very tight coordination between UAV units and assault units. Any assault troop can request assistance. If you've even observed the engagement involving Yakut, a Ukrainian assault troop requests help, an FPV drone flies in, appears from behind him, strikes, and he moves in to clear the area. There, it all works in full interconnection. Unmanned assault units separately rehearse with ground drones and even use them. For us, this is also still terra incognita. We are only starting to develop this. They are even testing dogs. Even if it's at night, even if it's still awkward, but dropping grenades from Mavics also looked awkward back in 2016 when they attacked the Khmeimim base in Syria. Well, 6 years later we have what we have. Therefore, the factor of the enemy's FPV advantage on the battlefield exists. If we deprive them of this advantage, it will be much harder for the enemy to hold their sectors. So we need to develop precisely in this direction regarding countering FPV drones and UAVs and their development. This should have been done yesterday. Now we have to run just to stand still. We have to run. More precisely, to stand still, you have to run, just to avoid falling behind. There is always something to learn from the enemy. It's correct to learn from the enemy, from their methods, their techniques, and their command and control systems. So we know what needs to be done. We need to develop this.